Hi AIFS, my name is Gabriela. I am studying abroad in Florence, Italy, and I'm a Biomedical Sciences major. I go to the University of Texas at El Paso, and today is one of my longer school days, so I will be taking you along with me. Okay, so now I'm walking to class. It's a 15-minute walk, which is super close, and I rarely ever get on the bus and the tram anyway because Florence is super walkable, and we don't have a metro system here, so you can just walk everywhere and you would be fine. Okay, so that was my first class, and now in between my classes, since I usually don't have time for breakfast, I'll come to this little cafe and get a cappuccino and a ham and cheese croissant.
Definitions. One definition is the United Nations World Trade Organization definition, 𝗟𝗘𝗧'𝗦. The other one, the second one is by the European Parliament, and the third one is the more...
Okay, now I'm walking home from school, and me and 𝗟𝗘𝗧'𝗦 are taking pictures for our photography assignment. Me and some of my roommates have been wanting to come to these photo booths, so that's what we're doing today. So we didn't really know how to sit down, the three of us, and I ended up only coming out, but we're gonna try again. Okay, so we came to this little market in 𝗟𝗘𝗧'𝗦. There's a lot of jewelry, t-shirts, vintage clothing, food, wine, and a lot of artisanal work. And fun fact, this church is where Michelangelo is buried. So that's a cute little fun fact. So I am taking 4 classes, and that transfers back to my university as 12 credit hours. They do fulfill my university's requirements. I am a biomedical sciences major, so the classes that I am taking are all electives, but I did work with my advisor and my school to fit them into my degree plan and find classes in our catalog that would translate. I'm taking street photography, cross-cultural psychology, Italian culture and traditions, and European Union business and institutions. And I am a senior as well, because I know that was a question. It was very easy to register for the classes that I wanted. At first, AIFS will send you a preliminary course selection where you will choose the classes that you would like to take, and then they'll take into consideration how many people want to take that class, and then with that create the schedule. And then before you get here, they'll send out the schedule, and then you can pre-register. And then once you actually get here, there's about a week and a half where you can add and drop your classes. There were a few classes that filled up, however I only heard that happening in one class. Also, this semester we are a smaller program, just because a lot of people tend to come in the spring versus the fall, so that also might play a factor. This also is all depending on where you go to university. I attend an AIFS education center, so that could change a little bit. Okay, this is a great question because it is something that I wish I would have known. And this is my second time studying abroad. Obviously this semester it's in the fall. The last time I studied abroad was in the spring, and I will say already I experienced more cold in the spring versus right now. I haven't really gone through that much cold, and it's not like it hasn't really been cold in Florence. I studied abroad in Spain for spring, and it was really, really cold from January up until like some days in April. So I will say spring is definitely colder. The fall is really not that cold. I'm expecting like first week of December it will get really, really cold, but other than that, honestly, the weather has been great. There's days that I can walk around with without a jacket, and very, very few days where I've had to carry around a jacket. Luckily in Florence, a lot of people do speak English, and all the Italians here and everyone is really willing to speak to you in English, and they are very understanding. I've never felt like super judged. And then also I think something that I should point out is that I am fluent in Spanish, so that does help me a little bit in understanding Italian because they're similar in a lot of ways. But overall, especially from hearing about my roommates' experiences and my friends' experiences, it's not too hard to navigate. So the meal plan is specific to Florence. I am not too sure if any other location offers it. When I studied in Valencia, Spain with AIFS, it was not an option. So it does depend where you're going. But the meal plan is like these food vouchers that AIFS has with certain restaurants for breakfast and for lunch/dinner, and they'll give you a list of all the restaurants that you can go to and use your vouchers at. And a lot of the restaurants will have a separate menu for AIFS so that you'll get a better deal, or if you choose from the regular menu, you will pay the difference. And they also give like grocery store gift cards kind of, and you can go grocery shopping with them. And the meal plan is really flexible, so you're able to switch out breakfast cards for like lunch cards or for the grocery store cards. So it's honestly super worth it. So for example, today was my long school day. So that's my every Tuesday and Thursday I have 3 classes, but then on Monday and Wednesday I only have 1 class. So Monday and Wednesdays I have a very free day. However, for example, on Monday I do volunteer at a high school, and I talk to these sophomores in their English class in English just so that they can kind of hear me talk English and like pick up on my pronunciation and things like that. Mondays it's 1 class, Tuesdays it's 3, Wednesdays 1, and Thursdays is 3, and Fridays I don't have school, so that's also very nice. So I've always loved Italy, and I knew for my second study abroad I wanted to go to Italy. And at first I was going to do Rome because, again, I love Rome. I know for myself it was going to be a little too chaotic, a little too busy for me, so I chose Florence because it is a little smaller, where you still get like that city aspect, but it's not like too big where everything's like super far and it's like chaotic. And honestly, like I think Florence is like a really cute and like safe place to study abroad in, and it's like super pretty. So honestly, I think I was more excited than nervous to study abroad because I think I'm a person who's just like, okay, like I'll just do it, like it's fine, like it'll be okay. And I honestly think that's part of the mindset you do have to bring with you, like just going for it, saying yes, trusting that everything will work out, and trusting that it'll be worth it. I know it's very scary, especially if it's like your first time out of the country or like traveling alone or anything like that. But honestly, part of studying abroad is growing out of that and like embracing the scary parts of it. And honestly, I think it is like life-changing, whether it's your first time or not, whether it's your first time out of the US or not. I think it's definitely 100% a thing that you should do and everyone should do. So honestly, don't overthink it and just do it. So I kind of mentioned this earlier, but my program this semester, the staff has like also said we are a smaller group because a lot of people do come in the spring, but so my classes are pretty small. However, I think it does differ. It all depends on how many people sign up for the program. So yours might be big and they might be small. And it also depends on where your program is, because for example, my study abroad in Valencia, I went to the University of Valencia versus here in Florence, I'm at the AIFS Global Education Center. So I'm with just students from my program, and in Valencia, I was with a lot of foreign students. So this is another really big misconception, and STEM majors can't study abroad. I've done it twice actually. So it's very possible. You just have to be very, very specific with the classes that you find and the classes that transfer over. Especially if you're pre-med, for example, you have to be careful about which classes you take abroad because, for example, when I was in Valencia, they offered a science class, but a lot of med schools don't accept transfer credits from a non-American university, so it's just little things like that that you would have to check. But for example, in Florence, I have a lot of my electives. Actually, all of my electives are being used this semester, and then for Valencia, I took some of my major electives. It was like nutrition and like other things that are similar like that, but it's definitely very possible. And if you need more help, I am more than happy to set up a meeting with you. Okay, so the only thing I'm gonna do for the rest of the night is I'm gonna go to this cute little restaurant and play card games with people in my program, and then after that I'm just gonna come home and go to sleep. So I just wanted to thank you guys for following me along. If you guys have any questions regarding Italy, Florence, AIFS, or even Valencia, Spain, because I did study abroad there last spring in 2024. So please feel free to contact me. I will leave my Instagram handle, and don't be scared to be a stranger. I'm here to answer any questions, and I am super glad and happy that I was able to show you guys a little part of my life here in Florence. And the only thing I do want to say and leave you guys with is to don't be scared, don't overthink it, just come to whatever country you want to come to, but study abroad. It's the most life-changing experience I could have ever done, and that's why I did it twice. The people you meet, the things you do, and like all these experiences are invaluable, and 100% like it has shaped me into a better person professionally, academically, and socially. And if you want more information about AIFS and their programs, feel free to click the link on our bio on this Instagram and DM us with any questions. Thank you. Ciao.